Hello YouTube and welcome back to Max Pounder Reports, and today we're going to do the second part of the list review and predictions for the upcoming tournament I'm going to. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. So this is now going to be table 7, so we've got Warriors of the Dark Gods versus Ogre Khans. We'll go through Warriors' list first. He's running a general with Wildling Blood on a Wasteland Steed, so I think he'll have a 1 up, 5 up. He's got a Barbarian Chief, who's his BSB with a 2 up armour and the Banner of Filth. 2 sorcerers on Alchemy and Death, so I like Alchemy. The +1 to armor save is actually really useful here. Path of Death, I'm not the biggest fan of, but it gives you some way to deal with monsters, because obviously you can just the 2d6 no armor saves as well is really good against so it's okay. He's got his 2 units of chaff with the 5 barbarian horsemen, which are with lust, which is a good choice, but don't panic. You've got to kill all of them, otherwise they can still chaff up, so very good. 6 last wasteland trolls with mark of pestilence per weapons, again very good. Tanky basically. 25 wasteland warriors, which is, I guess is where his BSB is going to go. So they've got halberds, but because he's got the poison standard in there, I would have preferred paired weapons, because obviously you get more attacks, which means more chance of getting poison. I mean, poison strength 5 is pretty good, but I'd rather have them initiative 5 with paired weapons. But again, because of course they've also got the mark of pestilence, so they're down to initiative 3, and you go in after a lot of good things there, or at the same time of things. It might be because he's worried about monsters, and then the Banner of Filth is a good idea because you're going at the same time of them, and they probably won't get the thunderstorms because of the strength 5 poison. But for general, I would have gone paired weapons, but it's not a bad choice. Now he's got a Mauler Chariot with Pestilence, again really tanky, really good because of the grind attacks. 5 Wasteland Knights, so this is where his Lord and one of his sorcerers are going to go, I guess. And they've got Wrath, and then 4 Crusher Knights. Yeah, so it's a good list. Yeah, it is good. The only thing I'd be worried about is putting your general in those 5 Wasteland Knights, because you're going to have to babysit those trolls, which means you, by and large, you've got to keep together. But 5 isn't very, it's not a lot to keep them protected. For example, if someone's got cannons, you take 2 off, and then you can snipe out the general, or even... No, I suppose he's pretty tanky, so it's just got to watch out. You've got to choose your fights, basically. I would have preferred maybe 6 or 7 Wasteland Knights. But it's a good list. It's got 1 up, it's got tanky trolls, it's got the Wasteland Warriors, which can, fight. It's got the chaff, and it's got the Crusher Knights to hit as well. So it's pretty good. On the other side, we've got the Ogre Khans, and he's running a Great Khan with Mammoth Cloak, which I don't know what does, but he's got the Hellfist as well, which allows him to take marks. Mark of True Chaos, so he rerolls panic checks. BSB, Mark of Pestilence, although he hasn't got an armor say, well, I think he might have a 4 up, then obviously he's -1 to hit, so that's pretty good for the points. Shaman, Path of Butchery, it's okay. But he's got 10 Tribesmen with Iron Fist and Mark of Pestilence. This is a tanky as flip unit, man, because everything's going to be hitting them on, apart from elves, everything's hitting them on 5s, and there's 10 of them. Really good choice. A couple of units of chaff. 7 Merc Vets with Lust, Armor Pierce and Bodyguard. He'll probably put his Great Khan in there. Always BSB or Shaman, make them stubborn. Mark of Lust is fantastic because you re-rolling charges is really good. Again, he's done the same with Tusk Cavalry. And of course, he's got Frost Mammoth as well with Mark of Pestilence. Really tanky again, and also is going to give that -3 aura out. So, good matchup. Very 2 similar lists, I would say, in that sort of 2 tanky units and then bits and bobs around. Who wins this? This is going to come down to place. I think it's a very even matchup. They've both got chaff, both got tanky units. The Warriors has more spell viability, just more choices with his spells, so I think that might make the difference here. It's going to be very close. I might say the Ogre Khans, because those Tribesmen are going to be so hard to shift. And then I think his Tusker Cavalry are much better than the other bits and bobs, but at the same time, especially with a Frost Mammoth, because it allows the Ogres to go first, and obviously the Warriors of Dark Gods hasn't got anything to really deal with that, unless he uses, you know, Path of Death. Of course, there's always chance of Purple Fun, just going through the Ogre cards as well. So if he gets that spell, then that makes it a bit more problematic. But again, the Death Wizard is on the Steed, so you could pick on that Wasteland Knight unit quite easily. I'm going to go draw because I really don't know. I think they're very even matchup, and I think it'll come down to play skill. Good lists from both of them. Okay, so the next list we've got is Patrick Not Hard versus Max Halford, which is my list. So we'll go for Patrick's. Patrick's actually running a list I ran into, if you watch my battle reports, game 5 or 6. Pretty much exactly the same list. So he's got an Avatar of Nature, really like the Avatar. He's very killy, strength 7, stubborn, 3 up, 5 up, really good. He's got a Thicket Shepherd, and then he's got Law of Alchemy and Law of Fire. I guess the Law of Alchemy is just for him to deal with, because the only thing that can deal with armour is his Avatar of Nature. So I guess he's just looking for the Sig spell there. Probably not going to help him too much here, to be honest. But I think it's a good choice to have him there, because if he runs up to one up Cav, he's going to struggle. Although the Thicket Beasts are pretty good. Then he's got Law of Fire is always a good choice. 30 Forest Guard, a couple of Archers, some Heath Riders for Chaff, and 3 Castrol Knights, 8 Thicket Beasts obviously, 5 Wild Huntsmen, an Eagle, 5 Briar Maidens, and 7 Forest Rangers. So I think it's a good list. The Thicket Beasts are really hard to get rid of, because obviously you can put the BSB in the back rank, and they're still going to get 27 Weapon Skill 4, Strength 5, Armour Piercing attacks, I believe, aren't they? Yeah, it's tough to get rid of, especially with a 4 at 5 up. It's the 5 up ward that makes them so tough. 5 up ward, very, very tanky, very hard to get rid of. Everything else is okay. 30 Forest Guard is good. I would have liked to see some Blade Dancers, because I think they're a very good choice. Instead of Forest Rangers are okay, but they die so quickly, whereas Blade Dancers stick them in a forest, stubborn, and allows you to get your combo charge out. That's personal preference though. The Forest Rangers will be good against monsters, just not Toughness 8 monsters. So my list, I'm running a Death Cult Hierarch, Path of Sands to Spell Swell, Ring of Fire, and a Skeletal Horse. When I was playtesting this triple cat list, I was really annoyed about how I want to play aggressively with 3 cats, and at certain points in the game, the spellcaster just couldn't keep up. And then, and also, if I wanted to heal something else that wasn't targeting of a spell, it's very hard to be within 6 inches of something unless you're playing a gun line. And I don't like playing gun line because I find it boring to play. So he's gone on a horse. So if the enemy has got shooting, I've obviously brought a fast cab bunker. I know they lose fast cab, but I've given them a movement banner, so they are movement 9. You know, that's better than flipping movement 8 marching. So that's the idea behind that. Obviously, I've got a no march this time on the Royal Sphinx. I dropped him down because he just wasn't... He was pretty killy, because obviously the cat has 4 strength 5 attacks, poison, and then the general will have 4 strength 7 attacks, divine icon. It's pretty good, but I just found that I wasn't throwing anything that people wanted to fight him with. They'd try and fight him with, and be something I couldn't fight. And really, he's there to just be tanky and allow the Sphinxes and himself and other stuff to play aggressively. So really, I've just given him the 4 ward, because he's toughness 6 with 5 wounds, and I can heal him. So he's just there to basically, that's his job, and throw him into the odd occasional combat. For core, I'm just running 3 chariots, for obviously the cav bunker, 10 archers, 15 archers for objectives. This is stuff I really don't care about, to be honest, and it allows me some real leniency in the deployment phase, because it's given me 4 drops that I can just go, you know, I'm going to drop these and just see what you're doing, because if you see what I've got left is Battle Sphinx, 3 Stand Stalkers because they are incredible, 4 Tomb Cataphracts with Stand Bearer. I really wish I could find the points Musician, but I wanted that 4th body, so I just went for 4 because I need. If you look at my battle reports as well, what I was missing was the 3 cats were really good because of resilient, but once one, you know, held off for 1 round of combat, they needed something to come in and clean up, and that's where the 4 Ring Reapers and the 4 Tomb Cataphracts come in. I think it's a pretty good list. The way it struggles is it has no chaff, and so a lot of the time what I have to use invariably give up 1 Sphinx as heavy chaff, but generally they survive round 1 of combat and then everything else comes in. So that's fine. I'm happy with that if it gives me the win. In this matchup, right, so I think this is a very good matchup for me because he's got no poison shooting. The only thing that can stand toe-to-toe with 3 Sphinxes and the 4 Winged Reapers are probably the Thicket Beasts. But, so, give Patrick a hint here. He needs to really get those Thicket bits into a Battle Sphinx one at a time because he's going to have 27 attacks against them. And that will roll enough 6s to kill it, along with the 2 banners and the rank. If I get 3 Sphinxes in, hold off and Winged Reapers and can get a flank charge down with Thicket bits, then I win that. The problem with doing that is that's a lot of my... I've got to use a lot of my resources to do that. So if I was Patrick, I would be looking to play very aggressive, get the matchup with the Thicket Beasts against, and try and use his superior movement and everything else to chaff up 2 Sphinxes or 1 Sphinxes, because I'm going to play them close together so that it's going to be hard for you to compartmentalise one and destroy one. Because this is what I found when I was playtesting, is that if I let one go off by itself, it invariably died, and I needed the risk, the risk from the opponent that there's actually 3 there. If he can use his superior movement to chaff them up effectively, and then use the Thicket Beasts to come and destroy one at a time, then I think he'll win this. I mean, the problem is I've got a lot of shooting. I've obviously got quite good magic. I've got the Sandstalkers, which are going to be a really good counter against his Avatar nature. And obviously stuff like the Winged Reapers, toughness 5, are going to be hard to get rid of. Yeah, I think this is a good matchup for me. I've played this list before, so I should learn. I think my list is better than when I played it before. So I would say that I would win this, but I do believe that if Patrick can utilise what I've said, he can take it, because but basically I'm just going to ignore the Thicket Beasts. I can't be bothered to get those points because it's 600 points, and for me to get 600 points out of it, I've got to put 700 points. Well, no, even more. I reckon I've got to put in 2 Sphinxes, a Royal Sphinx, and the Winged Reaper. So I've got to dedicate half my time to taking it out. It's not worth my time for that amount of points. So I'm biologically just going to ignore them, and so he's got to make sure that he's going to try and make sure I can't ignore them. Interesting matchup. It should be a good game though. So the next matchup we've got Aaron Pullen, who's bringing Infernal Dwarves, and Edward Jackson bringing Vermin Swarms. Now this is one of the better Swarmivores lists, but it's not the best, I think. The best ones I think is coming up. I think this Infernal Dwarves is a good list. Okay, so he's got 2 level 1s, Law of the Forge, one with the extra spell. Forge is a really good path. I didn't realise how good it is, and then I read it the other day and I was like, oh, this is flipping good. That they can also be engineers just makes them very, very good choices. 30 Citadel Guard with flintlock axes, so obviously with shooting, they can do that weird shooting thing where they shoot 8 inches and just wipe out everything in front. 22 Hobgoblins, which are basically just, I would have preferred like maybe units of chaff. I don't think he really needs it though. So he's got a Volcano Cannon, a Titan Mortar, a Rocket Battery, 2 big blocks of Disciples of Lugas, one with paired weapons, one with great weapons, a Kadim Titan, an Infernal Engine with Steam Hammers. This is a tough list to break. He's got 3 big blocks, he's got a lot of shooting, he's got 2 engineers, and he's got that mother flipping Kadim Titan, which are impossible to get rid of, with the toughness 6 and reroll 6s to wound. Very good list. In comparison with Vermin Swarm, he's got a Tyrant on a litter, armlet to power. I guess he's quite killy. Reroll Divine Icon, 2 cheap Rakachik Machinists, obviously a BSB, and then a Plague Prophet on the Plague Pendulum. But he's got 40 Slaves, big block of Vermin Guard, big block of Plague Vermin Hood, 11 Vermin Hoax, 5 Gutter Blades, 5 Gutter Blades, 3 lots of Rat Swans for chaff, and a A-bomb. So, interesting. Plague Brotherhood and the flipping Plague Pendulum are hard to shift, and the Vermin Guard aren't that bad either, and obviously the 11 Vermin Hoax aren't that bad either. However, the Infernal Dwarves have got a lot of shooting. I think in combat, his Citadel Guard and Disciples of Lugas take everything. The only thing the Vermin Swarm players got going for them is obviously the Gutter Blades, because they're going to be fantastic at taking down his War Machines. Fantastic. The other thing about the Vermin Swarm is he's got the better chaff. However, he's outgunned. So I can imagine the Infernal Dwarfs players just going to cattle up in the back corner. And by the time, do I think the Vermiswarm has got enough bodies to get there in time? No, I don't. I think the Infernal Dwarves are going to take this round. Both good lists. I think the Vermiswarm will do well against some of the ones. So Dan Minto by himself, he's not playing himself. He is his opponent hasn't had his list in, but I thought I'd go for his list anyway. So fair play to Dan Minto. If you listen to this, Dan, I think you're an absolute legend because you've just brought all goblins, and I love a themed army, and I think this is actually not a bad army either. So I hope you do well. For just you get points just for oh no, you've got Orc Ball Riders. Oh Dan, what are you doing? No. Okay, I take everything back what I've just said. You fool. Hilariously, right, so he's got a Goblin King under Cave Nasher, then he's got another cheap Cave Goblin King. I think they're great to have because they're cheap and they're, you know, expendable. You can use them as chaff if you really need to, and they're pretty heavy. Loads of Goblin Shaman on Path of Little Green Gods. Path of Little Green Gods is extremely useful. But he's got 3 big blocks of goblins. He's got 6 Orc Boar Riders. I don't know what he's thinking there. Maybe he just didn't have the models to get it up to core. 6 Nasty Dashers, fantastic. Nasty Dashers are great because they fly, impact hits. You can use them as chaff. You can use flankers. Really good. He's got a Git Launcher as Splatterer. I would rather see either 2 Splatterers or 2 Git Launchers. Personally, but I guess he's got a web launcher, so it's not too bad. It gives him 2 templates, 9 Cave Trolls, which obviously his main fighting units, double Gargantula, very good choice. We all know what they do. 8 wounds, toughness 6, poisoned attacks, stubborn. 2 Nasher Reckon teams again, very good because you just send them forward just to weaken anything you don't want to fight. It's a good list. He's obviously got the trolls, and the 2 Gargantulas are going to be really hard to get rid of. He's got enough shooting that you need to come to him. And yeah, I think I don't know what his matchup is going to be, but I think he'll do well. It seems like a decent list, very similar to Chai Hammer's list, I guess. With the trolls and the Gargantulas, obviously he's brought lots of goblins, but you have to give him points for that, don't you? So this is one of my favourite lists of the tournament, the Highborn Elves. He is running Double Dragon, and I love him for it. The one thing that always disappointed me about Ninth Age is that I could not run 2 dragons and Dread Elves anymore because they're one of a kind. So his Prince of Rhyme on the Dragons, we're running the Wizard Hoods, Beastbane Halberd, Lucky Shield. It's good. He can award 1 hit from a cannon. Wizard Hood is actually quite interesting because people don't know what you could get spells that you wouldn't get before. So I like it. I mean, who cares about stupidity on Leadership 10, right? Hey, but he's got a Young Dragon, Book of Arcane Power, so the guy's getting +2 to cast and Harden Shield. So again, good choice. And then he's got a Griffin as well. Then for his core, he's just got 3 units of scoring for his Highborn Lancers, 2 units of chaff. He's got a big block of Knights, 5 Phoenix, Giant Eagle, Giant Eagle. The only thing I would have liked to see from this list is I would have taken more shooting personally, because I don't think the Knights of Rhymer really do it for me. I mean, they're quick, but as you can see, he's got 4 flying things, a big block, and then everything's just fast. I think this list is going to do very well. I very much like it. It's very much the style of list I would take, in that it's quick, it controls the movement phase, there's nothing that's particularly punchy, but, well, apart from, well, it's got a flipping dragon, but altogether you can choose your fights, and I think he'll do well. So the Vermiswarm in unfortunately, I think he's got a tough matchup here. So he's got a Plague Patriarch, he's got a BSB, he's got a Plague Prophet on the Plague Pendulum, he's got 50 Plague Brotherhood, he's got 58 Rat of Arms, he's got a Global Launcher, Rotary Gun, 12 Vermin Hoax, double A-Bomb, a Lightning Cannon, and a Lightning Cannon. And I don't think Highborn Elves have got any fire attacks. Unless Prince of Rhymers, does he get flaming attacks? This is a very touch matchup because obviously he's got the double Lightning Cannon and it's a very good counter against flyers. And the A-Bombs are going to be very good counters against this stuff. And obviously he's just got so many bodies. If the Highborn Elves gets lucky and manages to take out the cannons early, then he can take it because he can go for the smaller win and pick up just for small points. So all he really needs to kill is the double A-Bomb, the cannons and weapon teams, and ignore the big blocks. If he engages them with anything, he's just going to get ground out. If the Vermiswarm player gets lucky with the artillery and the globe launchers and I mean, the global launchers are pretty useless. Well, we can decimate the knights as a problem. The vermin hulks are gonna be hard to get rid of. Yeah, I think the vermin swarm's probably got this, depending on how good the highborn player elves is. If he knows what he's doing with that list, he can take it with a bit of luck. But I think realistically, VVS is going to win that. And so I think this is the last matchup. So Luke Williams bringing Kingdom of Equitaine. Good on you, boy. And also we've got the Empire of Sharnstall list, which I think is probably one of the best ones. So, go for Kingdom of Equitaine. I'm not particularly sure on all this stuff, so forgive me if I make anything wrong. He's got a level 4 on nature. He's got, I guess, a Killy Duke. He's got a Paladin, who's a BSB, obviously. Big block of 50 knights, 6 knights, 10 bowmen for chaff or whatever. 6 knights, 8 knights, 5 yeomen for chaff, 10 peasants for chaff, 8 knights, a treb, and a treb. So actually he's gone quite a lot of bodies, which I would worry about. I'd rather have a better... I guess he's gone for the scoring. But those 6 knights aren't going to stand up to much. I guess he's got the big block, and I think that's where all his power's going to come from. All the captain's going to go in there, and it's going to be very much try and get rid of this block. On the other hand, the Empire of Sharnstall, he's got a prelate with the Altar of Battle, flipping auto-include at the moment, unfortunately. I just don't see why you would ever not take one, because they're really hard to get rid of. They give out so many buffs, bounce spells, just everything. Like, they're very good. Obviously, he's running a BSB because you have to. He's got a Captain on the Pegasus, good for War Machine hunting against those trebs. A Preacher, 2 big units of 60 State Militia, 2 cannons, 2 big whack-off blocks of 30 Flagellants, Steam Tank, 3 Knights of the Sun Griffin, Arcane Engine. Unfortunately, I think the Empire of Sharnstall list will have this because he's got the 2 big whack-off blocks of 30 Flagellants. And I think, yeah, he'll charge and he'll take some damage, but the Flagellants... The one thing about Flagellants is they're frenzied. It doesn't matter if you flank charge them, because they're still going to get all their attacks back, be unbreakable, and then turn around and kill the rest of your knights. So, he's also got 3 cannons, which is just going to be awful. The trebs are going to be really good against taking out the Flagellants and the State Militia, but the cannons take them off first turn, really. He's also got the 3 Demigryphs. I do have to say the Emperor of Sharnstall. I think this is a very good Empire of Sharnstall list. Yeah, the Arcane Engine again, also with the Foresight, I think that gives lightning reflexes, doesn't it? So it's just going to be so hard for any army to chew through those Flagellants without taking damage. I mean, again, for example, me, I'm fine. I'll send in those Battle Sphinxes and they'll grind them out, absolutely, because they're only going to get, 8, 12, 16 attacks? Hitting on 4s, goes down to 8, maybe put a win through a turn, and I'm just going to kill them all. But he's got 3 cannons to take rid of them, so good list. I think it's probably might finish near the top. So after all that, I've now got my final predictions. So I'm just going to do my top 5 lists. These are the ones I think are going to finish somewhere about the top 5 of the table. So we've got Aaron Pullen with his Infernal Dwarves. I think it's a very strong list. Infernal Dwarves are very, very strong under this meta. Same with Daniel Rutherford, Vermin Swarm are very strong. Maybe the one thing to change that list is take a Skirmishing Globadiers. Personal preference. Dan Crosby, obviously, with Empire of Sharnstall, with the Prelate and the Arcane Engine and the 2 big blocks of Flagellants. Pete Gray with his Double Dragon. I love Double Dragon. I really hope he does well. Maybe that's just a bit more of a... it's a matchup I'd like to get, though, because I think Stalkers just eat the Dragon up first turn, second turn, or third turn, whenever they come on. And if I still go for Kevin Stonebank's Warriors Dark Gods list, I think it's very good, it's very quick, it's very powerful. If he gets the right matchups, I think he will do well. So that's my predictions. Comment below if you disagree with me or have any other insight you can add. Might probably help me in the upcoming tournament. I will be vlogging the day. I probably won't be able to do battle reports because I go on holiday literally like 2 days afterwards, so I'm just going to have time to do them. And by the time I come back, I would have forgotten what had gone on anyway. So I'll be keeping track of my games through vlogging and obviously showcasing the best painted armies and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully you look forward to seeing that. But as always, comment if you've got anything to say, and we'll see you soon for the tournament. Okay, see you later. Bye.